Hi guys, good afternoon. So in the last session, we went with the EIGRP authentication. Now today, let's start with the EIGRP summarization. So what do you understand with summarization? What do you understand with summarization? Summarizes multiple networks into one. You can see. So what is the benefit of summarization? Traffic. Reduces network traffic.
Routing table information will be there.
Routing table information will be reduced. What else? See, summarization is the process of, you can say, combining multiple contiguous networks into one. Okay. So if we talk about benefits, okay, of summarization. So benefit number one here, your routing table size will reduce. So I'll say reduced routing table size. Okay. So that means less number of networks a router has to process. Number two, if less number of routes will be there in the routing table, memory consumption will be less. Then what else? Processing is less. So that means less CPU consumption. Then what else? Reduce network traffic. How? How network traffic will be reduced? Hmm? How? Huh? But in HRP, that happens only for the first time. After that, only changes are going, right? So what you can say? Not affected. Let's say, for example, I'll explain this point. Not affected with flapping of routes. Now, what do I mean here? Consider I have two routers. I have R1, and then I have R2. These are the two routers. Let's say here I'm using something like 192.168.12.0/24. Okay, and on this router, I have few loopbacks. So you can say, let's say, for example, I have 10.0.0.0 slash 24 network here. Loopbacks, or you can say networks I have configured. Then 10.0.1.0 slash 24. Then let's say I have 10.0.2.0 slash 24. Okay. Same way you can say like then I have 10.0.3.0 slash 20. Okay. So these are the ones. So normally what will happen, according to AGRP, four networks will travel. Four networks will travel. This guy will receive four routes in the routing table, right? So if this guy will receive four routes in the routing table, now what if at any point of time, let's say at any point of time, if one of the loopback goes down, so this guy has to remove that route from the routing table. Then when this guy will come back up, this guy will add it again. Again, if this is go down, again it will remove. Again, if this is up, again it will add, right? So because of four routes, separate routes I'm having. But imagine that I don't have four routes. What I did, I just advertised only one route. Okay. And tell me if I combine these four networks, what will be my CADR value? Network and CADR. 8, 22, 32. Three answers already. What will be the CADR? Hmm? Okay. Yes. No idea. So answer is 22. How? Mhm. Understood? No, no. Explain it to them. How? Well, after this came actually the network, like we have system for like the third aspect is came. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, we have four networks. So we need to from the third aspect we make it for a four network. Second is from the third aspect. And then we make it from the from the network. Understood? Louder. It should be audible to everybody in the classroom. In the third aspect, we taken two bits for summarize to four networks, four networks to single network. Like in this network, we have four networks, 0, 1, 2, 3. So we need two bits to summarize all those four networks. So that in two bits, you will get a four network. We have taken two bits from the third aspect and summarize it to four one network. All the four into one network. Understood? Still no. No. One way is how many networks I have? Four networks. How many networks I have? Four. So one approach is the one he used that, okay, how many networks you want to combine? 0, 1, 2, and 3. Overall, how many networks you need to combine? 4 networks. If you want to combine 4 networks, that means, let's say, for example, if you use 1 bit, 2 raised to power 1 is 1. But how many? 4 networks you have to combine. That means how many bits you will have to take? 2 bits. 2 raised to power 2 is 4. Then only in the third octet you will get 4 block size. Hmm? Not number of subnets. Okay, let me give you an easy approach. CIDR is 24. CIDR is 24. Okay. So when CIDR is 24, what is your block size? 256. Okay. Now see here. Your CIDR is 24, your block size is 256. Correct? If I go 25, what will be my block size? If I go 26, 192. Whenever you borrow a bit, let's say from a host to network, so your block size will get half. That means 64. So if I say, if I'm having 26 as 64, so if I add up 2 networks of 26, what it will make? If I add 2 networks of block size 64, so 64 plus 64, 128. So that means it will make, if I add 2 networks of 25, it will make 24. If I will add 2 networks of 24, my block size will be 23, 512 addresses. If I add 2 networks of 23, 1024, that means slash 20. Now see here, 256, 256, 256, and 256. 4 times 256 is 1024. What is your CIDR? Got it? Or how you can understand? See here. I have slash 8. I have 1 block size. That is 2 raised to power 24. Right? When I go slash 9, this guy will get broken down into 2. Divides into half. See here, 24 was there. I borrowed 1 bit. It divided into half. So if I'm dividing into half, that means I'm taking 1 bit extra. If I'm increasing 1 bit. Okay, in short, if you understand. If you increase 1 bit, if you add 1 bit, block size half. If you remove 1 bit, block size double. From 24, if I go to 25, my block size gets half. From 24, if I'm going to 23, my block size gets double. So whenever you summarize, you reduces the bit. You reduce the bits. Understood? In a simple manner, that if you want to add on the networks, you reduce the bits. Simple. So that is the reason that my CIDR here will be 20. This is clear? Okay. Now this guy will have only 1 route. So imagine if this guy goes down now. If this guy will go down, R2 doesn't have a specific route for this. R2 have only 1 route. So this route will never change because still others are reachable. Still others are reachable. So even if a particular route is going up or down, the summary will not get affected. Is that clear? What do I mean when I say not affected with flapping of routes? Okay. That from the summary, if a single route goes down, still not affected. So this will save your CPU also. This will save memory also. Okay. This is clear. And eventually the routing table size is also reduce. Then all the four routes will be there on the R2. And if this guy will go down, here it will remove the route. If this guy will come up, this guy will add the route. Okay. Online people clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if we talk about summarization, this is of two types. Summarization is of two types. Number one, auto summarization. Number two, manual summarization. This is the two types of summarization, auto summarization and manual summarization. So what is auto summarization? So note it down. While advertising a route, EIGRP will by default summarize the network to its classful boundaries. Okay. So if you want to disable auto summary, so to disable auto summary, we use the no auto summary command. Okay. And how do you use this command? You say router, EIGRP, and your ASM, and you will say no auto summary. Okay. Now here there's a note, because like I said, in the newer version of the iOS, we don't need to give the no auto summary command. Okay. So you can say from iOS version 15.x, the no auto summary command is by default present in EIGRP. That clear? Or what we can say that from iOS version 15.x, the auto summarization is by default disabled in EIGRP. This is clear. Got it? This is about the automatic summary. Now, manual summarization. All right. Let's go with the manual summarization. Then we will go with the practical. Manual summarization. Once the auto summary is disabled, AIGRP will not summarize the routes to their classical boundaries. Okay. So what will happen? The routes will be advertised as individual routes. Okay. So the routes will be advertised as individual route. Okay. Now, if we want to advertise a summary of specific routes, then we can configure manual summarization. Okay. Then we can configure manual summarization. Okay, how do you configure it? You just go to the interface name. Then you will say IP summary address, EIGRP, ASN. Then you will give here the network ID and CIDR. This is how you'll configure manual summarization. Okay. Now here also there are few points that you need to remember. That your summary route is not advertised as a EIGRP route or a normal route or an internal route. It will be advertised as a summary route only. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that a EIGRP summary route is not advertised as an internal route because internal EIGRP routes, they have the AD value of 90, right? So this is not advertised as an internal route. This will be advertised as a summary route only. And the AD value of EIGRP summary route is 5. Okay. So note it down in the update package. It is advertised as a EIGRP summary route. The AD value of EIGRP summary route is 5. And there's one more thing. Okay. Whenever manual summarization is configured on a router, the router will add a EIGRP summary route to its routing table, pointing towards the null zero interface. Now, why this? To avoid. Why? Just to avoid. Note it down, then we'll go for the practical. Note it. Okay, let's go for the practical then. Hmm? This is week 3, right? 3 or 4? I think 4. 2 weeks for static. Done. So two labs I'll create here. One for the summarization and another one for the leak map. For summarization, to show auto summarization and all, I'll use the old routers. Networks and everything will keep same as it is. First of all, these two routers I'll start. We'll do the configuration. Last person in the row. Please come forward. Come forward. Hot seat. Okay, I think I already have the configuration. Let's use the same. Will save us time. Host name F0012.1. Then we have loopbacks here, right? Interface loopback 1. 172.16.0.1. Loopback 2. 1.1. Loopback 3. Let's name it something like loopback 0. Loopback 1. Loopback 2. Loopback 3 is 4. 3. router HRP1. Sixteen 0.0. Done. One dot zero, 2.0, 3.0, right? Then R2 configuration. So 3.0, all good. 12 is good. Okay. R1 is done. R2 configuration. F0/0 is 12.2. That's all the configuration required, right? Now we don't need rest of the configuration. So any doubt in the R1, R2 configuration? No. Copy. Now you see, I haven't given no auto summary or auto summary, any comment I haven't given. So first of all, we will check the default behavior. Okay. This is R1. So this is R1. Copy, paste, done. R2 configuration. Copy, paste. Done. Neighborship is up. Now, if I check the iOS version first, do show version. So you can take a look. My iOS version is 12.4. 12.4. So that means how many routes for 172 network I should see on the R2? How many? Hmm? One or four? Four? Sure. I'll see only one route because below iOS version 15.x, router will automatically summarize even though you give wildcard mask. Even though we gave wildcard mask. So you can see this is auto summarization. This is what? Auto summarization, because by default the auto summary command is there. Correct? Okay. Now, if I want to disable it, I'll say what? Not here, but on the R1. I want to disable auto summarization. I'll say no auto summary. Done. Once I say no auto summary, take a look. This time, how many right routes I have? 4 routes. This is clear. And if I say auto summary, check here also R1 also do show IP route AGRP. Nothing. And if I say auto summary, now it will automatically summarize. You see summary configured on R2. Only one route summarized. And on R1 also, you can verify. What do I have? I have a summary route. This is a summary pointing towards null zero interface to avoid the routes. How do I check what is the AD value of this route? How do I know the AD value is 5? Because normally when I see AGRP routes, they will have this kind of AD value 90. How do I know about this one? This is having AD value of 5. Do show IP summary. You show summary. I have told you this comment. So really value this was only equal just a minute. So IP route no. You can see what is the distance? Right. The distance is 5. So network ID and subnet mask you have to do. This is clear. Okay. So you can see automatically summary is getting advertised. And if I will say no here, router AGRP1, and if I say no auto summary, so now I'll see that I don't have a summary here. Now, what if I want to manually summarize it? Because by default, it was summarizing to /16, which covers everything from 0 to 255. So I need to configure only specific one. So what I'll do, I'll go on R1. R1 will advertise this summary through which interface? F0 by 0. Interface F0 by 0. I'll say IP summary address. AHRP ASN number 1. Network I have to give 0.0. Network mask /22. What is this network mask? This is the mask. Enter. Summary configured. Check on R2. I have a summary /22. Okay. And you can see I have a summary route pointing towards auxiliary interface. Understood? Yes or no? Online people? Guys, clear, right? Online people?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I am summarizing all the routes. But one of the network is there which I want that, okay, that should be specifically going out. That should be specifically going out. So, let's say, one of the network I want to leak from the summary. I am configuring the summary, but one of the network I want to leak from the summary. So how I can do it? With the help of leak map. So note down leak map next heading. AGRP leak map. Anyone, it can be physical interface, loopback, doesn't matter. What do you mean loopback interface? You have to give it through the exit interface. Here, through which interface the summary will be advertised. Okay. Now leak map. PIGRP leak map is used to leak the route from the summary, which means there will be a specific route advertised along with the summary. Along with the summary route. Remote AC remote. This is okay. There will be a more specific route advertised along with the summary route. That means you will have summary, but also you will have a specific route. That is also possible. Okay. So if you want to configure the leak map, few steps are there. First of all, we have to select the network. So to select the network, number one you will do is configure access list, or I'll say create access list to select the network. So how you will create the access list? You will say access hyphen list. Standard access list is sufficient here, so we don't need to go with extended because we just need to select the network. That's it. Permit. Now, from which network you want to permit. So whatever the network ID you want to permit, and then you'll give the wildcard mask. Once this is there, then you will configure route map. Configure route map. So this is the route map that we are going to attach inside the leak map. Okay. So you will say route map. Then you'll give a name of route map. Okay. Then you will define an action, which is permit, and you will give a sequence number. Then after here, you will say match IP address, and here you will give the ACL number. Once this is done, then you will attach route map with summary to leak the route. So how you will do it? Same command. IP summary address, EIGRP, ASN. Okay. Then you'll give the network ID, which is basically the summarized network. Summarize network ID. Then along with this, you will give the prefix or the CIDR value. Then after you will say leak map. And you'll give the route map name. This is how you're going to configure. Note it down, then we'll do the practical. So again, this summary command, this will be on the interface only, okay? This command will be there on the interface only. Just same exit interface. Note it. Hmm? Note it. So here we have already configured, okay? In the same lab, I'll do the leak map practical also. We have already configured it. Now, summary is already configured. Let me go and say no to the summary command. See, again, I'm removing this summary command, okay? Done. Now, okay, I think one change is there that here we are not able to give the slash value. But I think in the newer iOS, you can give the CIDR also directly 24, 22 like this. Okay. Now, what we are going to do here is that, guys, one moment, please. Okay. So what we are going to do is, I have removed the command. Now let's create the access list. So first of all, I'll decide the network, which network I want to leak. So let's say out of 0, 1, 2, and 3, let's say I want to leak the network number 2. So I'll say access list 1 permit 2.0 255 255. Oh, sorry. Wildcard, right? In ACL 00025. Done. Then let's create route map. So route map name, let's say I'll call it RMap. Okay. Action is permit, and any sequence number you can give anything from 0 to 65535. So let's say I'll give it 10. Then here I'll attach the access list. I'll say match IP address, and what is my ACL number? 1. Done. Once this is done, let's go to the interface. Interface F0 by 0. Then we'll give the same command. So I'm configuring the summary along with the leaked route. So I'll say IP summary address EIGRP1 network is 172.16.0.0. Then 255.255 252.0. Okay. Now this is default summary. Here I have to attach what? Leak map. And in front of leak map, I have to give the name of my route map, which is RMap. Enter. Summary configured. Check on R2. Through IP route. Here you go. I have a summary route, and this is my leaked route. Understood? If I did not leak the route, see what happens if I do not leak the route. Let's say if I say no to this command and I do not attach the leak map now. I'm not attaching the leak map. Without leak map, what will happen? Check. Without leak map, I will have only one route, which is my summarized route. Okay. And if I configure the leak map, to show run pipe section later. This is my configuration. So you can see I have a summary address configured with a leak map. So now if I check, online people, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
The voice is clear because internet issues. Okay, so once I configure the leak map, what will happen? That this is clear. Leak map concept is clear. Online people, leak map is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can consider like you are advertising summary, but for a particular route, you want to select a separate path. So in that case, through that interface, you can configure a summary with a leak.
Configuring AGS and the advertising.
Huh.
So there also we can do.
Where?
We can add advertising that network. Look at. Here also we can.
Yeah, there also you can configure. So if there also you'll configure by default, see if it is older operating system, let's say what you're trying to say is that consider I'll not advertise this summary here. Let's say I'm not doing it here. What I try, maybe you're trying to say I can say 0.0 and /22 wildcard I can use.
Yeah.
Is this you're talking about?
No,
So
like specific route that is 2.0, 2.0.
okay, understand. So if I say do show run pipe section EIGRP, as of now, this is my EIGRP configuration, right? Let me copy this configuration and let me paste it here. This is the configuration right now. Correct? Now, you are trying to say that instead of this configuration, why don't I do it something like, let's say, that I can configure this something like, let's say, 3.255. This is what you're trying to say. Here, what will happen that when we give a network statement, So we are telling the router that, okay, on whatever the interface these networks are configured, advertise those routes. We are not configuring summary. Here, this is not summary. That means instead of giving these many commands, I'm telling that, okay, I'll give one command and everybody is advertised. Everybody is advertised. So you can see, this is not the summary. Let me go and say, first of all,
I think the route will be gone.
Hmm?
The route will be.
the number of entries gets reduced here. That's it, nothing else. It doesn't affect the behavior of the EHR. So see here, I'll just go and say no router EHRP1. No router EHRP1. Done. And I have removed the summary also from here. Now take a look. If I'll do this configuration, now this is the configuration according to you. Neighborship came up. Let's take a look at the routes. Internet is slow. Why? Because I'm just telling that, okay, rather than giving 4 network commands, I can give one single command and all the interfaces, whatever the interfaces are coming in that range, their EHRP will be enabled. That is not summary. Okay, summary, we have to configure it manually only using this command. Interface F0 by 0. And now you can see. So you can see. This is how we configure the summary. Clear? Okay. So this thing is clear. Now let's stop these routers. Next thing is about route filtering. EHRP route. Page RP route filter. Start all nodes. One more row. Wipe all the nodes. Start all the nodes. Page RP route filter. Now, as the name suggests, what we are trying to do, filter the routes that they should not travel from R1 to R2. Okay. So we can say page RP route filtering is a way of filtering routes. Or you can say permitting or blocking the routes. Okay. Now, if we want to filter the routes, there are few ways we can use. We can filter the routes in page RP with the help of number one, we can use access list. Okay, there are few methods. Number one is access list. Number one, two is prefix list, and number three is route map. Okay. To perform route filtering in AGRP, we use distribute list command. This is the command that we are using. Now, the first method, we will see that how you can filter the routes using access list. Okay. So method number one. Note it using First thing we will do, we'll configure the access list for the route that we want to allow a block. Okay, whatever the routes we want to filter. So we'll configure the access list. We'll say access list. Then you will say number, anything between 1 to 99. Permit or deny, whatever the routes. By default, everything is permitted. So what we will say? Deny. By default, all the routes are already traveling. We just need to filter it. Okay. So deny. Then we will say work ID and then wildcard mask. Okay. Now, since I'm blocking a particular route and I'm creating an access list, by default, everything else will what? Implicit deny. Everything else will be implicit deny. So what I have to say, another statement, access list 1 to 99, permit, and the rest of the routes I want to permit. This is clear. So first thing is what we are going to do is we are going to create an access list. Create access list to deny the routes. That is the first step. Second step, attach the access list. So what is the command we are using? We are using the distribute list command. In the distribute list command, we will attach the access list. Okay. We will say attach the access list to the distribute list. Okay. So how we will attach? You will say router IGRP ASM. Then you will say distribute list. Then you will say ACL number. Then you will mention direction, whether the routes are inbound or outbound. Okay, so either in or out, and then through which interface you want to filter. Okay. Done. So now let's go to the lab. These are the routers. Here I'll configure 23.0. This is 23.2. This will be 23. Done. Configuration also I'll change. R1 configuration is okay. In R2, I'll have to change. Interface I have to change. This time we have the 0 by 0 interfaces. 0 by 1. This will be 23.2. This will be 23.2. This is R3. R3 is 0 by 0. 23.3. Clear? Any doubts? Should be good. R1. R2. Then R3. R2. Copy. R3. This is done. So this is neighbor with 23 and R2 should be neighbor with both of them. Done. And on R3 also we should see the routes. We do show RP route, AGRP. You can see I have 0, 1, 2, 3, all the routes. Okay. Now let's say what is my requirement that okay, on R3 I should not see the routes of like 1.1. I don't want to see the 1.0 route on R3. So I'll filter it on R2. I'll filter it on R2 in the inbound direction or outbound direction. Outbound direction. Okay. So let's go and create the access list on R2. Okay. So I'll say access hyphen list. This is R3. Sorry. On R3 right now, all the routes are there. Okay. And here if I check, you show IP route AGRP on R2 also, you can see all the routes are there. Now, access hyphen list 1. I want to deny a route. Which network? 172.16.1.0 0.0.0.255. Then this time you remember I'm not giving the any statement, permit any statement. Okay. Because first I will show you without permit statement, then I'll show you with permit statement. Then I'll say router AGRP1. Then I'll say what? Distribute list. Okay. Then what I have to give? ACL number. ACL number is 1. Now I want to filter it inbound or outbound? Outbound. That means through the G0 by 1 interface I want to filter. In the outbound G0 by 1. Done. Let's check on the R3. What happened? Graceful restart. I don't see a single router. Why? The implicit deny in ACL is denying all the routes. So what we have to do? We just have to go here. Access icon list one. Permit any. Done. Wait for graceful restart. Done. Check. Do you have the 1.0 route? No. We filtered it. We have filtered it. This is clear. Now, and if you have more than one outgoing interface, let's say from R2, you have more routers. Okay, if you have more routers, in that case, what? Check here. Router AGRP1. If I don't give the interface, I can still say enter. So it will go and filter in all the outbound directions, all the interfaces. If you want specific interface, you can give the interface thing.
All out.
Yeah. Let's say if I have this side R4, R5, R6. So filter all together. So that we can do. Yeah, we don't have to manually specify the interface also. We mention outbound direction, that means in the outbound direction, all the interfaces. Clear? Yes, nobody can see. Understood? Okay. Online people clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next way we will see is using the prefix list. Next thing we will see is using the prefix list. We have seen using the access list. Now we are going to see using the prefix list. So I'll remove the ACL and I'll remove this distribute list comment. So interface was G0 by 1. I'll say no to it. And then I'll say no access list 1. So now I should see all the routes on the R3. Waiting for graceful restart. Done. You can see we have all the routes. Okay. Now, let's go with the prefix list. So you will say IP prefix list, then give a name to your prefix list. Let's say P list, which is prefix list. Then what I want to do, I want to deny. Let's say this time I want to deny 2.0. Last time denied 1.0. This time I want to deny 2.0. So what I'll say 172.16.2.0. Then I can also mention the CIDR, which is here 24. Done. In prefix list also, whether it is access list, prefix list, or route map, everywhere you have the implicit deny. Everywhere you have the implicit deny. So again, here also, if you want to give the permit statement, how you'll give it? You'll say IP prefix list. Name is plist. You want to do what? Permit. Now, here we don't have the any statement, if you see. Here we don't have the any concept. Okay. So what I'll say that permit all the networks and all the CIDRs. Any subnet, any CIDR. And this prefix length should be less than or equal to or greater than equal to. So I'll say less than equal to, because anything less than or equal to 32. Okay, so I'll say less than equals to 32. That has to be permitted. Then apply, like how to apply is the same thing. So I'll say router, AGRP1. Okay, then you will say what? Distribute list. Now prefix list name you are going to give this time. Okay, so distribute list, And you see here, I have a way to apply the prefix list. So I'll say prefix and name is what? Playlist. Then after inbound or outbound, let's say outbound. Through which interface? G0 by 1. Let's wait for it. Done. You don't see the 2%. Clear? So show run not here. Okay. And- and Number 2 is using prefix list. So first thing, configure prefix list to deny the network. How do you configure it? You say IP prefix list. Here you give the name. Okay. Then sequence number not needed initially. Here you will give the network ID. Here you will give the CIDR. And this one, touch prefix list with distribute list. Also distribute list prefix, your prefix list name. Then you will give either in or out. Then you will give the interface name. This is how you can configure using the prefix list. Done. Now third one, using route. That will do tomorrow. Okay. Because in route map, again, we can use access list also, prefix list also. So that will do tomorrow. So tomorrow you will research about named HRP. Okay, because route map is only remaining. After that, we have named HRP. Named HRP, AHRP stub, and then we have SI query and reply. So I think tomorrow we'll complete AHRP. Okay. All right. Scroll up or down. Online people clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Done. Okay, guys, then this is it for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.